In this video, we will be building a gaming PC for under $400. Stay tuned. Step 1 was to take apart this Dell Optiplex 980, which we bought for $250. It has a Core i7-860, 16GB of RAM and a 1TB hard drive. The motherboard was tightly bolted to the steel case and was hard to remove, presenting the first challenge to this build. We then set up the motherboard on the table to test it outside of the case, and then slotted the Asus GTX 960 into the board. As the power supply was custom and didn't have any Molex connectors, we grabbed a second 500-watt power supply. This was going to power the GPU and fans, so we jumped it with a paperclip. Once plugged in, we crossed our fingers and hoped it was going to work. On pressing the power button, the motherboard came to life. This meant we could use the 960, provided we modified the case a little bit. The hard drive bay needed to be drilled out to make room for the card, and the power supply had to be cleaned of its old rust. Then we forced it into the optical bay as there was no other place for it. In order to provide it with power, we cable tied an extension cord to the back of the case. Now to the power supply. Instead of the paperclip, a little solder and electrical tape would do the job, shorting out the green and black wires to keep it switched on. The reassembly of the components turned out relatively easy, with cable management being a breeze. A little bit of hot glue and double-sided tape ensured that the hard drive and speakers stayed in place. Now it was time for the graphics card, which I connected to the Molex connectors on the secondary power supply, to ensure that our custom Dell power supply didn't get damaged. The card was a little bit too big, so the I/O had to be modded. Now for some software and benchmarks. Overall, the Dell has good performance for its value, scoring 35 frames per second in Heaven Benchmark with Ultra settings, and 32 frames per second in 3D Mark Skydiver. The system only struggled running 3D Mark Firestrike, scoring 15 frames per second overall. However, the Cinebench score of 448 again showed that the main bottleneck to performance was the first generation i7. Overall, this machine was good value for money, allowing you to play modern games in medium settings. The only drawbacks to the machine are the custom case, motherboard, and power supply, which restrict the level of modification that can be done. The motherboard is a mirror image of a standard ATX board, meaning you will be stuck with the Dell case, which also serves as a backplate to the custom style heatsink. The power supply uses a mini ATX connector with a custom pinout, making it hard to replace with standard ATX power supplies. So, would I recommend this build to you? Probably not, as the build was rather challenging and turned out quite sketchy. If you are in need of a low budget gaming PC, it would be better for you to wait for the upcoming AMD APUs, or to perform similar build with a Lenovo ThinkCentre, which uses industry standard components. Apart from that, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe.